Hi, welcome to OBabyNMore Yarny podcast. This is Ryan Nicole. Well, I am Ryan Nicole. You can find me on Ravelry as OBabyNMore, or on Facebook you can find my page as OBabyNMore Handmaids. This is episode 4. I'm a day late, so today is Friday, May 8th, 2015, and I'm entitling this episode "Pray for Mammaw." So, welcome back to those that have viewed before, and welcome to those that have not seen before. I do have one shout out for this week. I want to say thank you to Knitting Sprite for joining our team, or our viewing, I guess. So thank you and welcome back, and I hope you continue to enjoy, and I hope that if you have not watched before that you will come back and subscribe and see what else we've got going on here. So, I am going to pre-warn that this is going to be a very short episode. I just don't have it in me this week, and I will explain that later when we talk about blah blah blah. So to move on quickly and get this done with, I'm going to show you the one project that I do have finished, and that is the second project bag, Best of Both Worlds. And ta-da! I had linked last week and the week before the designer, and I'm sorry, but today I just can't seem to remember it, and I didn't write it down, unfortunately, so I will link it again this week though. But what I did was I used some scraps that I had left over. This was some Windtuck in bone that I used for the main bottom, and I used throughout as well as for my tie piece, which again I did that using crochet instead of knit. And then I have some Windtuck yellow, baby yellow is the colorway that I used to kind of add in. And then I had two colors that did not have ball bands, that were blue and a peachish color, and I used those. And I had less of those, so I used a weighted stripe generator to give me my stripes, hence the reason why it's not exactly a perfect striping situation, which I kind of like, because usually I would have done yellow, brown, blue, peach, yellow, brown, blue, peach, and so on, and I decided that I didn't want that. I really did want some randomness, but the only way to get that was to let somebody else do it for me. So I'm so happy with the way it turned out though. I'm glad that I did the larger base, and I really like the height of it. This is going to be a really good project bag for a lot of my bigger projects, so I am really happy with the way it turned out. I do, however, know that I either need more practice or I need to do fewer colors in the linen stitch, because there shouldn't be a seam, but my seam is so ugly. I don't know what happened. I really don't, but it is ugly. So yeah, I definitely need more practice. And I did have a mistake, here, but I kind of realized it once I was like up here, and I really did not feel like going back, so I didn't. So anyways, ta-da! This is Best of Both Worlds bag. I love it. And inside of it, I have stored a test project that I'm working on that I'm actually late because of the circumstances for this week that we'll get into. But I'll show you what I have finished, and I will link everything below because it is already live, and it is a very, very cute little pattern. I love it. It is a pattern by Ira Rott. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She is calling it Irina's Infinity Scarf, and obviously you can see mine is not quite an infinity scarf yet, but here is so far. As I said, I'm loving it. I think it's turning out really good. Mine's turning out a little bit wider than hers was. Total hers is supposed to be 12 to 13 inches, and with the edging, once I put it on, mine's, well, hers with the edging is 12 to 13 inches. Right now, mine's already 16 to 18 inches. It's pretty big, but I'm okay with that, and I'm gonna make the as large as I possibly can with the amount of yarn that I have. So it should be a nice, good, you know, wrapping infinity scarf, and that'll be great. The yarn that I am using on it is Bernat's Super Saver. The colorway is Soft Fern. Yeah, I should have just looked at the ball band actually. The colorway is Soft Fern, and it's this pretty little green color. Just something that I had in my stash, and I thought there's quite a bit of it here, and that would make for a really nice infinity scarf, and yeah. And it uses a K hook, which is 6.5 millimeters. I actually have found, and I'm not really sure why, but I used two different needle gauge checkers. I don't know what they're called actually. Anyways, two different needle gauges, and all of my K hooks were coming out to be 8 millimeters, and my J hook actually came out to be 6.5 millimeters. So that is what I used as my J hook, and even using that, I can't imagine how big this would have been if I would have used the actual K hook. So, but anyways, I will link that below as well. It is a very cute pattern, and it is working up very quickly. I just need to get back to it. So, yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you last week, and I and I didn't. So I'm going to tell you this week really fast. When I was making my other project bag, the cutest little thing happened. So I'm working on it, and I'm working away, and O comes up to me, and he says, "Mama, what are you doing? What are you making today?" And I said, "Oh, I'm making a bag." He goes, "Oh, who are you making it for?" And I said, "Well, actually, this bag is going to be for me. I'm going to keep this bag." "You're not going to make it for somebody else?" I said, "No, baby, this one's going to be for me." He goes, "Well, don't you think it'd be nice to share with somebody else?" And I said, "Well, oh, usually I make stuff for you and I make stuff for other people." I said, "I've made you hats, I've made you scarves, I've made you 2 pairs of mittens now, I've made you countless things. I'm working on another helmet hat for you," which, by the way, that is still going. I just haven't touched it again. But anyways, I'm making a blanket for you, to which he wanted to know more information about this blanket. And the blanket is, the sisters group that I'm in on Ravelry does prayer squares, and so we'll make prayer squares for each other, and I'm doing 2 different sets. I'm doing one set that's blues and reds to put into O's, and one set that is off-whites and beiges and creams that I'll have in on my sofa. So I told him about, you know, these squares that are being sent to me, and that I'm going to join them all together and make him a blanket out of, you know, all of these squares that have been prayed over for him. And he was like, "Oh, that's wonderful. That's so nice, Mama. I love it. And I can't wait." And he's just all excited about it. And then he says, "But you're really going to keep the bag for yourself?" And people wonder why I don't keep anything for myself, because apparently I'm selfish when I keep one thing. So anyways, I thought it was a funny story. I don't know. I'm not finding it as humorous right now, but that's for other reasons, I think. So anyways, those are really the main things that I had listed. I did finish up a couple of other small things this week that I'll show you real fast. I know I'm going way out of order today, and I'm sorry. But the other thing I did was a little scrubby dishcloth for myself. I believe the pattern was Scrubby Dots, and I used some leftover cotton yarn that I had, as well as some tulle that I had. Which the neat thing about my tulle was I just had a piece, and I don't even know how long it was. And when I wound up my yarn, I wound up the tulle with it until it stopped going, and then I just finished winding up the yarn. And without even trying, I perfectly got the first 2 rounds of my scrubby with the tooling in it, and then the last, well, I added a round, so the last 3 rounds are just plain cotton, which I think was kind of neat. But I do notice that I like this side better, especially with the tooling, I'm sorry, with the tulle for it to be scratchy to really scrub my dishes. So, but the back looks pretty neat too. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that was Scrubby Dots, and I will link that below as well. And the last thing I worked up was kind of a quick thing, and I want to show this one just because, one, I like it, and two, I finished it, and three, I want to explain some blocking stuff because, yeah, I think it needs to be commented. Anyway, so this is Fading Flower. It is by Elishiva Designs, a good friend of mine on Ravelry. Her Ravelry name is Elishiva8596. And she's got a couple that she's getting ready to put out, this being one of them, again, another test. But what I wanted to talk about was I am going to show a picture of this here on the screen, maybe here, I don't know. Anyway, on the screen, and it will be before I blocked it. And for everybody that tells me you cannot block acrylic, I am telling you right now, you can block acrylic, and it can look great. It can really help out. As you see in the picture, this was very wavy and scrunched up, and it wasn't quite the full 6 inches that it's supposed to be. And I know that me moving it around, you can't really tell for sure that it's flat, but I can tell you it is flat. It is not a wavy square anymore. So, and you steam block it, you just hold the iron, you know, you pin it out, and you hold the iron just above it with steam coming out, and it really does open the stitches up and open the yarn up without ruining your acrylic. If you touch the yarn or the iron to your yarn, you will burn and ruin your yarn. So don't let it touch, but let that steam work its way in, and it just really opens it up and really lets you really move it. So you can. And one of these days, if you want, I can do a video tutorial on that, but that's not today. So moving on, I'm just going to go right into the blah 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 and explain a little bit about why this is short, and also ask for some prayers. Last Sunday, we got a phone call while we were in church telling us to get to the hospital right now, and we went, and my grandmother is not doing well. We thought, based off of the message, that, you know, we were literally just going to be able to say our goodbyes. Once we got there and had been there for a little while and kind of talked to the doctors and the rest of the nursing staff and everything, we started to understand that that's not necessarily the case, but it's really not far. She's got half of one lung is working at this point. The pneumonia was not gone when she was released from the hospital the Monday before. When she went back into the hospital on Friday, things were, you know, pretty bad, and then Sunday things looked really bad. So the pneumonia's not fully gone. Her lungs, as I said, she only has half of one working, so she's really struggling to breathe. It's really taking a lot of energy. She's very sick, so she's going to be in for about another week at least, getting more antibiotics. So please join me in prayer for a miracle for my grandma. Mammaw means so much to me, so I would really appreciate a miracle, and I really appreciate your prayers. So, as of right now, that's what's going on this week. We've been pretty much dealing with that all week, and I haven't been feeling up to doing much of anything else, so hence the reason I'm a day late, and hence the reason that is all you get right now. I'm sorry. Sorry. So I'm going to go on to the blessings to you and leave you with one final blessing. Last week I had referred to health, and part of that was over my grandmother. This week I'm actually going to talk about something a little bit different. My blessings to you this week is I pray that you have, I pray for understanding, love, and compassion. As somebody who deals with POTS, and knowing that stress affects that POTS as much as it does, I know how difficult and how hurtful it can be when you don't receive the compassion and understanding and love, especially in a time of crisis. So I pray that you give an extra dose when you can, and I pray that you receive as much as you need when you need it. So I am also going to give you a Bible verse, which is found in Colossians, but right now I can't remember where. Pretty sure it's Colossians. I'll have that with a little picture like I did last week. So the Bible verse, though, is, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves in compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and forgiveness. And I pray that you listen to this, and I pray that you, like I said, receive that compassion, understanding, love, kindness, gentleness, forgiveness, all of that as you need. So please join me next week. Sorry again for being so short this week, and I hope to have great news over Mammaw, and I hope to have more to be able to show you next week. So have a great day, have a great week, and God bless. Bye.